Assalamu alaikum students. So today we are going to start with chapter 5, which is equations, simple equations. So just to give an idea about simple equations, we have already done a few problems related to this chapter in chapter class 5. That was a problem involving 4 rules. If you remember, just to give you an example, you had something like this: x plus 7 equals to 5. Then you had to find out the value of x. How did you find out the value? For, let's say, 7, I shifted over here, x equals to if it's plus 7, if I shift to the right side, it becomes minus 7. 5 minus 7, so x equals to minus 2. So this sort of problem where we actually found the value of x. Okay, so this is actually an equation. How can we say whether an algebraic term, like expression where we can say whether it is an equation or not? An equation will have an equal sign. Just to write it more clearly, let's say x plus 9 equals to 14. Okay, so an equation will have, first of all, a few constants. These are constant values, and this is a variable, right? You already know what is a variable, like x, y, a, b, c. These alphabets are usually termed as variables. So an equation will consist of one variable, or maybe more than one variable, 2, 3 variables, doesn't matter, and it will have an equal sign. Okay, so what is the use of an equation? In order to solve different problems, we actually require to create equations and then solve. I'll just give you an example. Let's say x kg of rice. Okay, a person bought x kg of rice, and let's say so yeah, as I was telling, x kg of rice, let's say at taka 20 per kg. Okay, x kg of rice at taka 20 per kg, and the total amount it cost was, let's say, 120 taka. Okay, just a very simple example. Let's say he bought x kg of rice at taka 20 per kg, and the total cost was 120 taka. So how many kg of rice did he buy, if the question is? So how can we solve? So x kg of rice, 20 taka per kg, we know. So 20 into x kg equals to 120 taka. So you see, where I am using a constant, a variable in an equation equals to 120. So x equals to what? 120 divided by 20. So x equals to 6 kg. So equations can be used to determine an unknown quantity by the help of a known quantity. Okay, here the unknown quantity was the amount of rice he bought, and the known quantity was the price per kg was 20 taka, and total amount he paid was 120 taka. So equations can be used for different purposes. Okay, x, let's say, to determine an unknown quantity, always we need to express it with an equation. If we can express with an equation, it's very easy for us to solve a problem. Okay, to determine the unknown quantity. So in this chapter, or in class 6, you can say, we will be learning equations with only one variable, not with two or three variables. Okay, in this chapter we will be learning equations with one variable. So let's say x plus 5 equals to 7. So this, where we only have one variable, then x equals to what? 7 minus 2, that is 2. This sort of problem. Okay, so we'll now move on to examples. I'm sure you understood about equations, what we are saying when we solving for equation. Okay, let me give you a few more examples, then you can understand better how to solve an equation. Let's say I have 2x minus 1 equals to 5. Okay, I have an equation like this. Remember, whenever we solve an equation, we have to take the constants to one side, especially to the right side, and the variables we need to keep it in left side. Okay, the constants should be shifted to the right side. Okay, means whatever I have to do, I need to make this x alone, then only I can get the value of x. So let's say this is an equation, 2x minus 1 equal to 5. In the second line I need to put an OR sign. This is an OR sign, or you can write just OR. You can use this or this. Very important, because we already have an equal sign in an equation, we cannot use two equal signs in an equation. Okay, so we can use either this sign or this sign. So my second line will be OR 2x equals to, remember, if I have a minus sign over here, minus 1, if we shift to the right side or to the opposite side of equal sign, it will always become, the sign will always become opposite. The opposite of minus is what? Plus. Again, if we have multiply, if we shift to the right side, it will become divide. Okay, so opposite of some minus sign is plus, and opposite of multiply is divide. Similarly, opposite of plus sign is minus, and opposite of divide sign is multiply. So here there is a minus sign. If we shift to the right side, it will become 5 plus 1. Okay, next we can write OR 2x equals to 6. Now what does 2x mean? If you remember, in already in chapter 4, 2x means what? 2 into x, right? 2x means 2 into x. So we can write, if we need to shift this 2 to the right side, this is in multiple form, right? 2x means 2 into x. So if I need to shift this 2 to the right side, it will become divide. So we can write OR x equals to 6 divided by 2, 6 by 2. Therefore x equals to what? 6 divided by 2 is 3. So answer is 3. So the value of x is 3. Sometimes you will see in an equation, like in a question, they will be asking you to find out the root of the equation. You'll find a new word, that is root of the equation. So root is nothing. Root is actually, root means you just need to finding out value of variable. Finding out the value of variable. Just keep this in mind. Okay. You might be asked to find out the root of the equation. Root means usually an equation has an unknown quantity and known quantity. So the unknown quantity is usually called the root of the equation. Okay, so the root means to find out the value of the variable, or in this case the value of x. So the root of this equation is 3. Okay, the value of x is 3. So root of this equation is 3. Finding out the value of variable. Okay, so I hope you are understanding the basics. Now let's try and solve a few more problems. let's say I have another problem. 2x plus 5 equals to 15. So how can I solve? Remember, first of all I need to shift the numbers to the right side, whatever it is. So, or 2x equals to, if I shifted this to the right side, here this is plus sign, okay? If I shift to the right side, it will become minus 15 minus 5, or 2x equals to 10, or x equals to 5. How x equals to 5? 10 divided by 2, that is 5. Okay, so this is the way you can actually solve different equations. Let's try and find some more let's go to a bit more difficult problems. Let's say 5y minus 2 equals to 3y plus 8. Remember, all the constants to the right side, all the variables to the left side. Okay, so we can write this 3y, I will shift to the left side, this minus 2 goes to the right side. 5y, this is plus 3y, right? If you don't write any sign, it is normally plus. So this plus 3y, if we shift to the left side, it becomes minus 3y equals to, again minus 2 over here. If we shift to the right side, it will become plus 2. So 2 plus 8. So 5y minus 3y is 2y equals to 2 plus 8 is what? 10. Or y equals, now this is in multiple form, so if we shift this 2, it will be divide over here, 10 divided by 2, or y equals to 5. So this is my answer. Okay, so this is how we can solve an equation. Remember, whenever we have variables, always shift the variables to the left side, and always shift the constants to the right side. Whatever the sign is, we need, if we shift a particular term to the left or right, or to the opposite of equal sign, remember, please remember about this equal sign. Whenever we are shifting a number or a term to the opposite side of equal sign, the sign will also change. Here in this case it was plus 3y, so if I shift to the left side, it becomes minus. Here minus 2 was in the left side, if I shift it to the right side, it becomes plus 2. So be careful about these things. Okay, so this is the start of chapter 5. I would ask you to, today till here actually I will explain, I'll ask you to solve from page 115. Page 115, solve activity number 1 and 2. Okay, page 115, solve these two problems. You don't need to verify, just solve the equation. Okay, thank you very much.